What's going on, vibers? It's your boy J.S. Vaughn, and guess what, y'all? We back with another one. Today's track is called Soundtrack to the Struggle, Part 2, by your boy Lowkey. You know what I mean? Let's jump right into it, fam. Let's go.
You're listening to Soundtrack to the Struggle 2 by Lowkey.
Thank you for joining us, Noam. In Optimism Over Despair, you say, it seems to me unlikely that civilization can survive really existing capitalism. Would you be able to explain that statement for us?
Really existing capitalism is what we can see described in the press day after day. We read that the major banks like J.P. Morgan Chase are increasing their investment in fossil fuels, including the most dangerous, like Canadian tar sands. And all of this is quite understandable on the assumption that the structure of our institutions is geared to maximizing short-term profit and power without regard to what might happen to the world in another 20 or 30 years.
You hear that shit, bro? It's like basically saying the way that the world works and whatnot is basically, taking care of what was beneficial for us now and not really giving two shits about what's gonna happen to the world later on and whatnot. That's fucked up.
But that's called capitalism.
That's what's
but we can't survive that.
We can't survive. That's the structure of capitalism and whatnot, man. That's crazy.
Is it the economic system via the ecosystem? How we gonna define deep when the seas have risen? How can we define woke when our sleep's commission drowned out by...
How could we define... Let me rewind that again. How could we define woke when our sleeping commissioned...
Deep when the seas have risen. How can we define woke when our sleep's commission drowned out by cold...
When our sleep's commissioned. That's bars right there.
When the seas have risen, how can we define woke when our sleep's commission drowned out by cold brother bots? How can the people listen, can't detoxify as we watch the sky fade to grey? The source devoured, corporate power killed the nation state, sophisticated murder defined as innovation, corporations wine and dine just to mine your information.
You said corporations wine and dine just to mine the information. That's fucked up, man. Corporations wine and dine just to mine the information. That's crazy.
Murder defined as innovation, corporations wine and dine just to mine your information. Amen versus humanity. Terrorist who is search engine knows your thought pattern better than you in an environment.
He said his search engine knows the thought pattern better than you. Damn, man, humanity, who's terrorist? Wow, that's bars.
Terrorist who is search engine knows your thought pattern better than you in an environment resentful. Uprising is essential, the horizon is torrential. Think your silence will protect you, subject to propaganda that terrifies the slumbered. We can jeopardize their cover if we energize the numbers. Collectivize or die, protect your mind or suffer. Life is paradise to some and a paradise to others.
He said, life is paradise to some and a pair of dice to others. That's crazy. Life is paradise to some and a pair of dice to others. Because, like, at the end of the day, meaning, like, people live in freaking wealth and freaking luxury all the fucking time. Paradise to motherfucking some in a pair of dice to others and whatnot. So... you know how dice goes, you know what I mean? You either making freaking bank or you ain't making nothing at all, you know what I mean? When you playing dice, you poor or you fucking rich, you know what I mean? And what dictates that is how you roll them dices and shit. That's fucking crazy, man. Let's go.
Protect your mind or suffer. Life is paradise to some and a paradise to others. eyes of a tired, retired fireman, knowing he couldn't help a child survive the frying pan. When we riot, we disquiet the Leviathan. Forget Iron Man, I've got an iron lion's diaphragm. My salutations to those with imagination. Doom anticipated, and that's no exaggeration. Your flag doesn't exist. Let me back up that statement. What happens to the nation if the Queen has a tax haven pushing?
What happens to the Queen if the Queen has a tax haven?
Let me back up that statement. What happens to the nation if the Queen has a tax haven? You don't need a brave heart. Frontex turn the Mediterranean to a graveyard. Paper war will drive you crazy if you let it. Had a mother burying a newborn baby in the desert. What's commonsensical is sensible to question. What seems to be a lesson is intellectual.
He said, what's commonsensical is sensible to question. You know what I mean? That's a fact. That's a fact.
What's commonsensical is sensible to question. What seems to be a lesson is intellectual repression. Rebel against the system that deprived you of a voice. Rebel against this hell while our survival's still a choice.
You see? Rebel against the system that deprived you of a voice. Rebel against a hell while our survival still a choice. You know what I mean? Meaning like on some real shit. You gotta rebel against this hell while survival is a choice, because survival is not always going to be a choice. You know what I mean? So the time is now. There's no waiting for you to speak out. You know what I mean? You got to speak out now before you can't speak out, and destiny is already freaking determined and whatnot because of the actions that we took beforehand and whatnot. So that's definitely deep right there.
Against the system that deprived you of a voice. Rebel against this hell while our survival's still a choice. Committed suicide, cannibalize itself, while the bank's treating fictitious capital like it's wealth. Your lurid lobby system means corruption is legalized, privatized healthcare elsewhere. People die, rebellion lives in all those that dream of a better way, refuse to be brainwashed with false visions of yesterday, choose to inflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. So many choose the opposite, their spirit contradicted. Bring a child to the world where the future seems impossible. $5 trillion.
He said, bring a child into the world where the future seems impossible. $5 trillion a year, substitute from fuel, fossil. Oh man.
Bring a child to the world where the future seems impossible. $5 trillion a year, subsidizing fossil fuels. The truth was in their eyes, but you shrugged and just turned your back. I watched the family beg for help while they're flat turned to ash. Apocalypse now, we saw our future in that.
He said, I watch a family beg for help while their flat turned to ash. Apocalypse now, we saw our future in the damn building.
Beg for help while they're flat turned to ash. Apocalypse now, we saw our future in that damn.
Oh, he said freaking that's what a flat is, a apartment building, I guess. Yo, flat turned to ashes. Yeah, man. Wow, that's deep.
Watch the family beg for help while they're flat turned to ash. Apocalypse now, we saw our future in that damn building. CEOs loving profit more than they love their grandchildren.
Where did that happen? I think this shit actually happened. You guys, if you guys know where that happened, put me on and whatnot, yo, because that shit is crazy.
I'm building. CEOs loving profit more than they love their grandchildren.
Damn, man, CEOs love the profit more than they love their grandchildren. That's a fact, man. Meaning like, yo, they like making money more than they care about their freaking offspring and shit. I mean, like, I thought that was the reason why motherfuckers make money, so their family could be well off in the future and whatnot. And the way that Lowkey describing it right now, they don't give a fuck about the future and whatnot. They just give a fuck about how fat and how luxurious that they living on this earth while they on earth, which is a fucking sad freaking message. Which is very sad.
Saw our future in that damn building. CEOs loving profit more than they love their grandchildren. We saw our future in that damn building. CEOs loving profit more than they love their grandchildren.
Not to be concerned about the future of their grandchildren. Well, you have to put yourself in the position of, say, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of the biggest bank, JP Morgan Chase. As CEO, he has essentially two choices. One choice is to do exactly what he's doing. Invest, direct investments to the most profitable outcome. If it happens to be the most dangerous fossil fuels, do that. The other alternative he has is to resign and be replaced by somebody else who will do the same thing. But this is an instant.
You see that shit? That's bars. That's bars. Yo, hold up, man. Hold up. I gotta let the whole thing play out and then freaking go back because the track's almost done anyway.
Institutional problem, not an individual one.
All right, so he says like you can do that, but it's well, I'm starting mid sentence. What the fuck I'm talking about? He said you can't. Well, I'll start there. You can do that, but the other alternative he has is to resign and be replaced by somebody else who'll do the same thing. But this is an institutional problem, not individual problem. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what's going on here is like, yo, well, like they saying is like, yo, it's not the fucking individual that's in the place, that's in the position that's fucked up. It's a freaking system that's all fucked up. You know what I mean? So to actually change the system, to actually change what the individuals do in those roles and whatnot, you have to change the whole fucking system around.
Problem, not an individual one.
There you go, man. Definitely a strong message right here. You know what I mean? Yo, if you wanna change what's going on and whatnot, the people that's running the freaking the major banks and whatnot have to start caring about what the future looks like if we gonna have a future. That's the message of the track, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because what they saying is like basically like, yo, these motherfuckers on top with the funds and whatnot, the only thing that they care is how fat their pockets are. They don't really care about what damage they doing to the world and what damage they doing to people's lives and whatnot. And at the end of the day, they just want to get more money. They want power. You know what I mean? And until that way of thinking is erased and whatnot, you know what I mean? It's just gonna stay the same and whatnot. And you shouldn't be freaking scared to freaking voice your opinion now and whatnot, because if you wait too long, the change that you want to see and whatnot will never be, because you know what I mean, it will be too late. Deep ass fucking message. I hope you guys enjoyed this track and whatnot, you know what I mean, as much as I enjoyed reacting to it and whatnot. If you guys want more tracks from your boy Lowkey or any other type of videos, man, just put it down there in the comment section all day long. You see this right here is my motherfucking thumb. I need y'all to take y'all thumbs and throw it all the way up to the motherfucking sky. Smash that like button all day long and whatnot. Show me some love and support in that way. Another way you can show me some love and support is by subscribing to the channel right down there. All day long. And that's about it. I'm about to check you guys out next time on the next video. Peace out, one love, and I'm out. You already know, fam. Let's go.